We're about news, commentary, conversations, truth, liberty, and God. We stand for American values and our flag. We believe that the Constitution is a document that fortifies rights already given to us by our Creator. We will not apologize for our love of God and country, ever. We are Right America Media.
We're in. We're not.
Shadow Band. I'm your host, Keith Hansen.
I'm co-hosting Kristen Sokoloff here.
K-Sock. Great to have you on the show. This is awesome.
So funny? Nobody knew my real name for like 3 years because I still worked for the bank, so I had to be an alias. It's amazing to be out of the closet.
Yeah, it is good to actually be out. When I got into broadcasting years ago, people said, "Do you want to have a stage name?" And I'm like, "No, I'm more than happy to stand behind what I do." So that's
Good
okay.
for you.
I'm
Absolutely.
thick-skinned, don't care. I actually just enjoy, being a natural contrarian. I just really enjoy pissing people off. So if you don't like it, well, it's okay. You don't have to watch it, and that's why it's called Shadow Band.
Exactly.
And so Pretty Patriot is not here this evening, nor is Tyler fucking History. He is not here. So our illustrious producer Juan said, "Hey, would you run with Shadow Band tonight?" And I said, "Okay, I will do that." So here we are.
Hey. Yeah, it's right up my alley. We've both been shadow banned quite a bit. I think I was for like 4 years straight, so it makes sense.
Shadow banned and actually banned as well, too. It's, it's like, oh, no, we won't have you. I've actually been banned from college campuses here in New Hampshire.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Plymouth State College or Plymouth State University or I don't know, whatever, because I don't conform to their woke standards of DEI idiocy. They put a moratorium on any of the student groups having me on their campus because I was a hate-filled right-wing conservative shock jock.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you're a step above me. I haven't been actually banned from anything, just multiple strikes, shadow banned, which it's frustrating either way. You got me beat, though.
It's a double-edged sword because I tell people stay off of social media because social media is a cancer. And I'm convinced that when the aliens are doing a post-mortem on humanity, 5,000 years from now, what ultimately killed our society is going to be social media. It is driven such a wedge in between people. So, I stay off of social media for the most part. I just choose not to be on it because it's just such a toxic environment.
Right.
The only social media that I'm actually on, believe it or not, is Tumblr because I can kind of select what I like and I get things in my feed about firearms training and puppies and, like nature pics.
There you go.
So, and I love foxes. So there's like a thread on there about foxes and, pictures like people who have pet foxes and that. So
that's a wild algorithm that you have there.
It's a crazy, but you know what? The nice thing is I get what I want. And I don't get any of what I don't want. And it's perfect,
Hey, there you go.
But it's, these, all of these social media outlets, are really designed to establish psychological control over people. I'm absolutely convinced of this, and I'm convinced of this not because of just my own personal opinion on this, but because of actually looking into what the psychology has been in terms of influencing how these platforms are developed. We want, if you remember Super Size Me a number of years ago, Morgan Spurlock, the filmmaker.
Yeah.
So he brought to light the fact that McDonald's Corporation referred to people that ate McDonald's 5 or more times in 1 week. They were considered heavy users.
Mm.
And so, I mean, you think about a user, it's almost in the context of somebody who is addicted. It's a drug user, so to speak. And
Right.
when you look at the social media aspect of this, the heavy users, these people who are literally addicted to social media, they're addicted to their devices. And I have to say, this iPhone. Okay. Do I use it for social media? No, I don't use it for social media. I use it for work stuff, and I use it for text and that. But this does have a degree of control over my life. It
Sure.
does, because
Absolutely.
I feel compelled to check this thing. And so I'm going through a personal development process right now where I'm trying to separate myself from that and put that down and spend more time in reality and less
Yeah.
time on this device, constantly checking emails and constantly checking text
Yeah.
messages and constantly scrolling through, just the things that show up just on my iPhone. I'm not talking about in scrolling through feeds through social media, but just things that show up on your iPhone. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, that's really smart to do that. You're detoxing. And then you're also just kind of checking in on yourself, right? Where am I at? And so many people have the urge, including myself, the urge to check the phone regularly. And if you tracked yourself for a day, you would be concerned. That's for pretty much anyone out there. I know for me, because what I do is social media political commentary. So naturally I am on my phone a lot, but I actually do what they say not to do. I post and ghost. I don't post and then go and scroll into other people's feeds. I go and find my news, maybe Citizen Free Press, Epic Times. And then I post whatever I want to post throughout the day, and then I'm off. So I feel like I can feel good about myself knowing that I'm not just sitting there doom scrolling, but I am still on it more than I would like.
Yeah. Do you have kids?
Oh yeah, I've got
Okay.
2.
If you
And
don't
I
mind, how
homeschool.
old? How old?
Yeah, so 11 is my youngest and 14 is my oldest.
Okay, so what type of
Boy and a girl.
access to devices and social media do they have?
So 0 social media. I just got my 11-year-old a phone.
Okay.
My 14-year-olds had one, but neither of them have social media, and neither have even asked me for it. But again, we're a homeschool family, so it's a little different. None of their friends have social media, so it's not this. They don't have that pressure coming at them from the school. But yeah, no, and I don't plan on giving them social media for quite some time. And again, they're just not interested, thankfully.
Good. That's
What
good.
about
And awesome. So I have 2 stepchildren, neither of whom have phones, 9 and 12. Neither of whom have phones. The 12-year-old wants a phone, but the 12-year-old's not going to get a phone anytime soon.
Yeah.
Mom absolutely supports that. They are the only electronic devices that they have are the Nintendo Switch. Which again
Right.
it's an addictive device. I mentioned to
is.
the 12-year-old, I said, because I said you're addicted to your device, and he said, no, I'm not. And I said, okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take that away from you for 1 week.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
said, you see what that is? That is the reaction of somebody who is addicted, because you cannot
Right.
live, you can't envision a week without
Yeah.
interacting with that device.
Right. Right.
And it's scary. I mean, thank God that it's not Facebook. I mean, the trendy kids aren't on Facebook anymore, right? Because I guess Facebook is for boomers. But whether it's Twitter or whether it's X or whether it's Blue Sky or
Right.
whether it's any of these other social media cesspools, it just is not a place that children need to be for a couple of reasons. Number one, because of the fact that it exists to hook people in. And
Right.
make that a more desirable place to be than reality. The other thing that terrifies me is the fact that you have thousands and thousands and thousands of predators that are lurking in all corners of the internet.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it was funny, the YouTube. Like, we have 2 televisions in the house. We're not a big television family, but we do have 2 televisions. I have one in my office, and then we have one in the family room. And they're both smart TVs. So these are not televisions. These are computers. Try to get YouTube off of your smart TV, your Samsung
Oh,
or your
right.
Vizio or anything
Yeah.
else like that, you cannot delete the app. You cannot.
Right.
And if somebody knows how to do this, please, by all means, let me know. I would love to know this. The other show's email, Granite State Live, granitestatelive@gmail.com. If you know how to delete the YouTube app off of a smartphone, I want to know this because I have not been able to find a single means.
A smartphone
of
or a
deleting-
smart TV?
Smart TV.
Yeah.
A smart TV.
Yeah.
Because the kids can get onto YouTube, and now it's this
Yeah.
endless. It's like, oh, we want to watch YouTube. No, you're not watching. Well, because there's some good stuff. Okay, but I'm not so much worried about. They love this video series, Oversimplified. So if they're going to watch a YouTube video like Oversimplified, which is educational, then they're going to watch it supervised because it's not what they want to watch that's the concern. It's what auto plays after that. What kind of garbage is coming out there? And again, social media is filled with opinion. The best thing about social media is it gives every single person out there an outlet for their opinion. The worst thing about social media is it gives everybody out there an outlet for their opinion. So it's a double-edged sword. And so I don't want my 9-year-old or my 12-year-old, even as stepchildren, being exposed to the asshole, stupid opinions of the majority of the uneducated, filthy, unwashed social media masses. And I sure as hell don't want them exposed to the nonstop barrage of attempts by child predators to hook up with kids.
Right.
And that's what the internet is filled with.
Yeah, I think so my son plays Roblox a lot. You know what's been pretty awesome of an experience for me is instead of just banning him outright from playing Roblox, because I know there are predators out there, we've had numerous conversations about what grooming may look like. Maybe it's giving him free Robux, maybe it's like all of these different things. And so now he's incredibly discerning, and so anytime he'll be like, this guy just gave me free whatever in this game, and I'm like, okay, keep an eye on that because that is weird. Why would you give anything away for free? And so he doesn't accept any friend requests from somebody he hasn't met, like in person, like actual real friends. And so it's been really cool seeing him be able to take control, and then he's touching base with me when he has that gut feeling. And so that's been a good experience for the two of us.
That's good. But I mean, again, whatever they are doing on an electronic device needs to be monitored. And if it's something that is connected to Wi-Fi, then it doesn't need to be connected to Wi-Fi. The children do not need to be exposed in that fashion to the real world, as far as I'm concerned. I would say if I ever had children of my own, I would raise them Amish. I mean, it doesn't mean I'm going to be Amish. It just means I'm going to raise the children as Amish. Hey, Daddy, can I watch TV?
Fun.
No. Well, why not?
Go.
Well, because you're Amish here, and that's what you believe in. So go
till
make
outside.
Yeah, exactly. Go raise a barn. Go churn Daddy some butter. There we go. All right.
That's
see,
hilarious.
more fresh churned
Problem
butter
solved.
than I could ever hope to have.
Oh goodness.
All right.
Juan's
well,
got some good videos.
I was going to say, without further ado, we got to get into some videos here because I think Juan, our esteemed producer, has got a fresh crop of interesting videos from this week. So let's roll with the first video, please.
I do, but I wanted to show you something, and I'm sure KSOC will probably appreciate this. So within 2 minutes of us being on TikTok, which is free, I think it's a record for us, we get this. Your live is not eligible recommendation and restricted in search results because it contains unoriginal and reproduced content.
What the hell does that mean?
As far as I know, this is original, and we haven't shown any videos yet. So,
It's insane.
Am I a facsimile of myself?
I used to get that. Get this. I got that same message on Instagram when Instagram offers a remix option. And for those that use Twitter or X, think of it as a retweet. So it's an option that is offered. And so I would remix things, and then I would get strikes against me for using a product or an option that was offered. So really frustrating.
It is frustrating. So TikTok, you can hear me? You suck.
Yeah, they do. That's why I barely put any focus on TikTok anymore.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating.
All right, so we're gonna start with this one.
All right, here we go.
Okay, guys, fun fact.
Ooh, I love fun facts. I'm so excited. Okay, tell me what you've learned.
So the water is actually not supposed to be this color.
Okay. Why?
I'm from New York.
I'm from Florida.
Actually supposed to be like greenish brown.
My thoughts are going horribly wrong.
You guys are putting dye in the water. What about the fish?
Yes, Europeans over there put dye in the water to make it look that clear and beautiful and crisp. And I feel so sorry for the amazing, colorful fish because they have drank the dyed water and now they are that color because of the dye in the water.
Wow.
So,
I don't know which one was stupider, actually.
well, here's
I didn't like either of them.
here's proof positive of a theory that I have. How do you know somebody is from New York or New Jersey? Don't worry.
I'm
they'll
married
tell
to a
you.
New Yorker. They'll tell you. Yeah.
They'll tell you. It's like I think the original one was, how do you know somebody's from New York or a vegetarian? Don't worry, they'll tell you. I'm from New York. Okay, so you're used to seeing tampons and syringes floating in your waterways. Good. Get your ass back to New York.
She's not from Long Island because my husband's from Long Island and it's beautiful out there. But she's thinking of the Hudson, I'm assuming.
Most likely, yeah.
Which is pretty nasty.
Yeah, she's
Oh,
a
my
Jersey
goodness.
chick, the bridge and tunnel crowd there. So
Oh, exactly. Yeah, that's pretty asinine.
Okay, as you already know, we lost a lot of great American heroes the past week. So you need to remember.
rest in peace, Chuck Mangione.
He died?
You didn't know that? Yeah, the king of the flugelhorn,
Yeah.
Chuck Mangione.
Oh,
Yep.
Wow.
Feels
Wow.
so good. I remember that album. My parents had that album.
You're too young for this, Kayla.
1979. Yep.
I'm like, should I feel like uneducated right now that I don't know who this
No, you're too young.
How old are you?
I'm 45.
So you're old enough to remember Chuck Mangione.
Chuck
Yeah.
Mangione.
Look up
I'm gonna have to look it up.
look up Chuck Mangione. Feels so good. Was one of his, I think it was his number one. He hit number one with that one. And then his second top 10 single was Giving It All You Got. Great song.
I'll look it up.
But it's, he gave
I was
birth.
into alternative back
Yeah,
in the day.
he was
I don't
kind
know.
of giving birth to the whole, like, the smooth jazz movement of today. He
and I
was
hate
one of the
jazz.
originators of smooth jazz. Him, Spyro Gyra, that type
Horrible.
of thing. So, yeah.
That sounds
Elevator
like
music.
pain
Good.
for me. Oh, no, thank you.
While I look that up, in the meantime, let's remember another hero.
No, thank
Alrighty.
you.
Road nose, brother. Let me tell you something, brother. When you walk in this beat shop, I'm surprised that you still got the shirt on, Jack.
Well, let me tell you something, Hulkster. The first time I met you, I was only 3 years old, but now I'm 6 years old. So now we gotta take it to a bigger level, man. Just like when you press that no good stinking kind over your head and send them right through the canvas in front of 93,000 Hulkamaniacs. So what are they gonna do when the power of the Hulkster and the Roaster and the dual 24-inch pythons run wild on you?
That's cute.
I know. What a legend. Absolute legend.
Yeah.
That was
What
a really cute
heart
video.
heart attack? Had a heart attack.
Yeah. It was weird because he had a neck surgery. I believe it was a neck or a back surgery, neck surgery.
Mhm.
And then after that, it's just he started taking a turn for the worse. But it's interesting because that was two. Who else died earlier in the week, the same week that Hulk passed?
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
Ozzy, and
Ozzy
he
Osbourne,
had
heart
a
attack.
surgery, but he had also had a surgery 2 weeks prior.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm not sure which one had the neck, which one had the back, but I just found that a little interesting.
Well,
But, yeah.
Ozzy had Parkinson's too, from what I
Mhm.
understand too. So,
Right, right.
but it was amazing watching the funeral service. Just talk about having a spouse who is just Sharon Osbourne did more for that man. She saved his life. She really
Yeah.
did. And to watch her, I mean, just that the pain and the anguish of, and I mean, not, of course, the celebrity status, of course, we understand that, but she loved that man with every
Yeah.
fiber of her being, and she literally saved his life. My heart goes out to her, definitely.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's an incredible supporter, and it goes back to just in the years where the band was really thriving and taking off in the beginning. She was always there, and I think that's really important. We don't see that very often. So someone that stays married and stays together and supporting through all the ups and downs, that's huge.
No, that's the definition of a marriage, right? It's not about just celebrating the good
Rare.
times and staying together when the times are good. It's about
Exactly.
being able to see each other through those hard times and being a support structure for your spouse. That's important.
Right, right. I wish more people knew that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's unfortunately that's why a lot of marriages don't survive, because
Sad.
people think it's only about the good times. It's not about
Yeah.
carrying that person when that person needs it most. So,
Right.
looking at the preview window here, looks like we got something good coming up.
Oh, yay.
There you go, Chuck Mangione.
Couldn't help himself. Yeah, I have no idea what that song is. So I don't know. I'm not sure when that came out. But I can't stand jazz. That's like, I actually get like a physical reaction. I also get nauseous from it.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, jazz and blues just really
You
bring
don't
up
like
a level of
blues?
nausea.
You don't
No.
like blues? Wow.
No. There's like the two genres I don't like.
Does it
I'd
depress
rather
you?
listen to opera. I don't know. It gives me the ick. No,
Because
thank you, Juan.
blues are
All of
supposed to be
this.
depressing.
All
else
of
have we
this is
got?
gross. He wants me to throw up on camera. I think that's what we're going for here.
No, well, that's the standard like stock bump music that he uses.
As
So
long
that
as
must
we
be
can
really-
record it.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he likes that.
You can record. Yeah, exactly. I get like a literal physical reaction from it. Oh, it's so gross. I'm curious. Okay, Big Balls got beat up by a woman. Big Balls from Doge. So that is, gosh, I believe that happened either this evening or last night. And that is making headlines all over the place. Not sure if you guys have seen that, but he is the kid so he's part of Doge. I believe he's only like 19. And he tried to intervene when a woman was being carjacked in the DC area. And he ended up getting beat up by 8 thugs. So a group of 8 people beat him up. And Trump is very upset about that. And he's now calling for law enforcement and federal groups in the DC area to work on crime and accountability. So that was really interesting to see. Of course, I love the nickname Big Balls. He gave himself that nickname. But he did have big enough balls. It wasn't just talk. He had big enough balls to try to step up to these 8 dudes to help this woman. He did get tossed around a little bit though.
Did he experience some ethnic diversity with those 8 people?
I think so.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. There's
I was-
such a common denominator there.
Yeah, I was digging around for that, and I'm not seeing any pictures yet, but it does seem that way. But yeah, I thought it was cool though, because it's like when you nickname yourself Big Balls, you have to live up to that.
It doesn't work when you give yourself that nickname.
Well, he had big enough balls to step up to these dudes. I mean, he did get, knocked around.
Well,
a
maybe it
little
was
bit.
one person not realizing that there were 7 others waiting in the wings. I mean, we
That
don't know
might
about
have happened, but I'll still even give him credit for the one because he's a little guy. He's not a big guy. And but yeah, so that was interesting to see. I'm like, oh, Big Balls is making news again. And so it'll just keep an eye out for that. We'll see, who comes up as those 8 thugs. What do you think about Trump on the roof of the White House? First president to go up there. Well, I shouldn't say that. Jimmy Carter was up there in 79 inspecting solar panels that were paid for by US taxpayers. I don't know if he was inspecting or just showing them off, right? Like kind of just a moment to bring the cameras up there. But Trump was actually up on the roof checking out the construction with the $200 million ballroom upgrades that he is personally paying for. It was really cool to see him in action. And not only was he up there, he was taking questions from the press. Really cool.
So I'm going to be honest. I have been out of the loop here. I've been on a training program for the past 3.5 weeks. So I've been in 9 states in 3.5 weeks, and I have really been out of touch. Purposely, because I'm engrossed in what I'm doing professionally. I'm not watching social media. I'm really not paying attention to the news. I just don't care, to be honest. I'm getting burned out on politics. I'm getting burned out on the social media rhetoric. I'm getting burned out on all that stuff. So when I have an opportunity to just kind of put it aside and say, you know, I'm not going to do this, it's great. So I didn't happen to catch that. You know, I mean, it's a photo op. Listen, it's a photo op. Making these upgrades, personally paying for these upgrades to the White House, awesome. You know, I think it's, you know, he's a benevolent guy, but I think it's going to pay dividends for him down the road. I think that's. I mean, ultimately, human behavior has a discoverable motive. So, you know, one of the things that, you know, I've always done as an investigator, as a forensic interviewer, I always want to find what that motivation is. Your behavior has a discoverable motive. You do certain things based upon a motive. And generally speaking, motives are selfish. How am I going to benefit from this? Some people, the motive to help other people or to do things for other people or to be generous or to be a benefactor or to be a philanthropist, the motivation is the sense of self-worth and the value that comes from being a philanthropist and knowing you're helping other people. But that's still selfishly driven. Selfishness isn't necessarily a bad thing. So, you know, what's the motive here? How are we benefiting from this? Is it a photo op? Okay, well, awesome, great. So you're up on the roof. Fantastic. You got a raise. Cool. I don't know what to say about
that's
it.
where you're at with it. Yeah, no, I think it's smart because it gives him control over the space. So he's going to have that control. He's going to be able to house so many more. Actually, there's a security improvement there as well, because in the past, they haven't been able to house the quantity of people that show for these events, and they end up having to use the white tents out on the lawn. And so this is not only going to get rid of that cost and then that potential, you know, security threat of not having them inside the structure. So there's multiple wins there for him, but clout and control, absolutely. And you know, it's smart to factor that in along with the other benefits. And by paying for it himself, it's also this like beautiful way to troll the left, because they just so badly want to say the taxpayer. I mean, they are saying that the taxpayers are paying for it, but they're absolutely not. We are absolutely not. It's actually Trump himself and maybe potentially a few other donors, but it seems to be that he's going to be the sole donor for this. Good for him. Yeah. Good for him. If you have it and you want to do it.
Not taking a salary, making a donation like that, doing things. Listen, I think it's that's the way you want to troll the left. That's the way to do it. I mean, but it's always amazing when you watch leftists and progressives and woke, useful idiots getting pissed off because people are doing things that are generous or benevolent. But if it's not benefiting them directly, then of course that's a bad thing, right? Because it's not benefiting me. Well, if Trump were giving them money personally, they would love him. But if it doesn't necessarily benefit them, and it doesn't necessarily benefit anybody else specifically, it's just an act of generosity, well, then that's something to be lambasted and condemned because it's not benefiting them. Greedy, selfish, spoiled, self-entitled leftists. That's what leftism is all about.
Right. Yeah. Are you familiar with Van Jones?
I love Van Jones. He's such a
here's what he said.
Brilliant guy.
So it was in the last 24 hours. He said, the country, this was on CNN, the country believes a lot of dumb stuff, but nobody is trying to put anyone in prison. He's talking about the Democrats. And Scott Jennings happened to be on there. And he goes, what about them trying to imprison President Trump? And it's like, Van Jones, come on. Like, to say something so stupid. when that's all they've been doing over the past 4 years, and then some. I mean, it's pretty wild. I thought that was a blunder of the day for
Well,
CNN.
Well, I mean, CNN, of course, is is the ministry of misinformation. We understand that, and the other thing that we also have come to understand, watching the mouthpieces of the left for the past 20 years, is that whenever a Democrat, a progressive, a leftist makes a statement about the opposition, you can take it to the bank that it is a twisted, projected confession. There's no question about that. You want to know what the left is guilty of? Watch them accuse the opposition of things, and then you know exactly what they themselves are guilty of. And I think the queen of this is Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton is the epitome of the twisted, projected confession.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot is coming out these days, showing that she really should be imprisoned, along with hundreds of others. And we'll see. There's a lot of threats being made by the GOP and conservatives and the Trump administration. Let's see. I want to see handcuffs. I want to see it actually happen.
Never, ever, ever going to happen. Listen, nobody's going to prison.
You're right.
Nobody's going to the gallows. Nobody's going to do anything like this because they're always going to protect themselves. And I think the Epstein files, a perfect example of this. Why haven't these? Why is it radio silence? We were talking about it on the previous show. Trump campaigned on a promise of releasing the Epstein files. Do a document dump. What is in those documents? Is it something that is damning or indicting to him? Is it something that is damning or indicting to people that he's close to? Does it show? Listen, transparency. You ran on transparency. Yeah. Show the documents. Because at this point in time,
MAGA base.
At this point in time, first of all, the DOJ completely botches the Diddy trial. That was an abomination. That was a miscarriage of justice. And then there's nothing to see here. There are no files. Bullshit. There are files. You don't have Ghislaine Maxwell sitting in federal prison for facilitating the trafficking of sex workers to nobody. So if it's either you have clients who these people were being trafficked to, or you don't. And if you don't have that, well, then why is Ghislaine Maxwell sitting in prison? I personally, I hope she spills. I hope she spills everything. And you know what? If Donald Trump is in there, then great. Then you know what? That he deserves to go down with the rest of them.
Right.
That's it.
I know.
And I have no problem throwing him under the bus. If he was complicit in that, then he belongs under the bus tires like everybody else.
What do you think about the fact that they had the power for the past 4 years? And if he was in there, common sense tells me that would have been brought to the surface. What do you think?
I think it's one of those things where no matter what side of the aisle, when you're dealing with something like that, there's a reason, because if he goes down, he takes other people with him. If somebody on the left goes down, then they take Republicans. If a Republican goes down, they take people on the left, because the flight logs, the people who are actually flying on Epstein's plane to that island in the was it the Virgin Islands? If that's the case, then there are people from all political walks of life there. And it's the same thing with when you look at the people with in the Diddy parties. These freakouts. You had Republicans, you had Democrats, you had people who were independents. So I think the entire cabal, and don't forget that left, right, it's a side of the whole. It's a political group of people. Whether you're on the left or the right, you're a part of the whole. And so at the end of the day, they watch out for each other.
They totally do. Even something as small as Cruz helping up Pocahontas when she fell on the Senate floor the other day. He helped her up. And it's a real reminder that they are all friends. I really feel like they might not agree with each other's politics, but I do feel like they're all friends. And that's kind of a tough pill to swallow sometimes when we think about it. But you know what really started making me see that was Senator Kennedy. I know you can just tell him like he is friends with Democrats. You just
Mhm.
know he is, right? And so I feel like a lot of what he does is, and I love him, I adore him, but it's a lot of political theater. And so for me, it is disappointing because I feel like if I was in that position, I would not be friends with those trying to drag our country down, right? But it does seem like they have this political theater 9 to 5, and
Mhm.
then they probably all hang out and have drinks after work.
Well, you remember there was a Looney Tunes cartoon where Sam the sheepdog, and I forgot the name of the wolf, but Sam the sheepdog and the wolf would fight. And then there would be a whistle off in the distance that would blow, and they would stop their fighting, and then they would grab their lunch buckets, and then they would go over and they would punch out. And it would be like, bye Sam, bye whatever the wolf's name was.
Yeah,
And
that's
was
about
like,
it.
This is
Yeah.
this is what we do.
Ralph.
This is theater. What is it?
Ralph.
Ralph the wolf. Okay. Bye Sam,
okay.
bye wolf, Ralph, and then we walk off together in the distance because the theater of combat or the theater of politics is over.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of these people, it really is the same. We're getting Looney Tunes music. It's the exact same concept.
Yeah.
That at the end of the day, okay, that this is the theater of politics playing out.
Right. Yeah, I really believe that. Did you say you were going to queue up Looney Tune?
I know. I thought one was playing Looney Tunes
Oh, I thought,
music in the back.
I'm like, should I wait or?
No, but we had something on the preview screen that disappeared. We had
Oh my gosh.
what was up there first? We got Amy Klobuchar. Oh dear God.
Oh, hold on. So there you go. Let me see if I can.
This will be interesting.
Uh-huh. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hello, Ralph. Hello, Fred. Hello, George. Hello, Sam. Hello, Ralph. Morning, Ralph. Morning, Sam.
Yeah, that's
Interesting.
welcome.
Pretty much
Welcome to Washington D.C. That's,
You know, in the first shot, I swear I saw a red and a blue lunch pail, and I was like, oh, maybe they're, indirectly insinuating what we're talking about, but then it changed to it was like a blue and a black one, so maybe not. Maybe a little dig there, but no, it is pretty spot on.
well, think about it.
Go ahead.
Think about it this way. Okay, the warring mafia families. Okay, so you got the Gambinos and the Genovese families. Okay, and so they're constantly warring against each other, and they're constantly doing battle against each other. But if there's a
Right.
common enemy, they come together to vanquish the common enemy, and then they go back to fighting amongst themselves. And that's exactly what politics are. They're crime families. The Republicans, it's a crime family. Let's be honest.
Right.
The Democrats, it's a crime family. We accuse the Democrats of being horrible, awful, Kool-Aid drinkers. But listen, the same thing happens on our side of the aisle. Because you have Republicans and then you have conservatives. You have Republicans and then you have patriots. You have Democrats, period. And it used to be that Democrats were, you had leftists, you had extremists, but the Communist Party, the Marxist movement, the postmodern movement has co-opted the entirety of the Democrat Party. And so they're one and the same. But you have Democrats, you have Republicans, and then you have patriots, people who love this
Right.
country, people who have integrity, people who have honor, people who, when they put their word on something, their word of honor, that is a bond in blood. And they wouldn't sell out their integrity for any amount of money. And then you have politicians who go into it for personal enrichment, for personal gain, for the development and establishment of their name, and then the fortunes and the future of their posterity. That's politics.
Right.
And I hate them all.
Sad but true.
So I have.
Oh, well, speaking of,
I'm sorry. So I have a place for you. On Sundays, in Chicago, by the lake, for people like are frustrated as you can go to this therapy. Let's just go to get the frustrations out to the lake, and then they hug.
Oh my goodness. I think
What's up
every
with the
liberal town has that.
what's up with the 400 pounds of cellulite with pink hair?
Oh my gosh, I'm
Well,
very accustomed to that
Well,
here.
speaking of, listen to the Senator Kushar.
Look, all we're saying is that we want representation, okay? If Republicans are going to have beautiful girls with perfect titties in their ads, we want ads for Democrats too, you know? We want ugly, fat bitches wearing pink wigs and long-ass fake nails being loud and twerking on top of a cop car at a Waffle House because they didn't get extra ketchup, you know? Just because we're the party of ugly people doesn't mean we can't be featured in ads, okay? And I know most of us are too fat to wear jeans or too ugly to go outside, but we want representation.
I love AI.
Oh my gosh, I know, right? There, there's some people out there that are probably like, "Is that real?"
Yeah.
But I mean, it's accurate. So, but those are two different things. So yeah, that. Oh my gosh, amazing.
So you got
I saw
Sydney
that.
Sweeney for American Eagle jeans, and you got Amy Klobuchar
Yeah.
for Moose Knuckle jeans.
Oh my god.
You got for the African American persuasion, you got FUBU, and then for the white feminists, you've got FUPA.
Oh wow, you're on a roll here. Just keep going.
Let's keep going.
Juan, do you know what a FUPA is? Okay.
I definitely want things the most comfortable chair in the house. Or an ancient butler. But I don't even do that. But if you said that you want...
I love that. Oh,
Well, of course, those
goodness.
aren't all people, wailing and gnashing their teeth to the Sydney Sweeney ad, but
No,
it is
but it's-
interesting to see how we were talking about this on the other show. How, of course, she has good genes. It's a double entendre. We get that. Double entendre. Okay, 3 syllables. So I think the average TikTok user could probably figure out what we're talking about. But that being said, no, I mean, how is that Nazism? How is that racism? How is that hate-filled? It's not. But then again, this is just pissed off leftists who are unhappy with the fact that there are actually attractive people living happy lives. It's the bottom line.
Well, I got 2 videos for both of you. One of them is gonna probably piss you off. The other one, we'll see.
You know what, one? I will say
Not
this.
much pisses me off anymore.
It is
I
better
just
to be
laugh.
pissed off than it is to be pissed on, unless you're into that sort of thing. So.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, yeah, we're banned.
Moving
from this.
on.
We're banned. Okay, how about this one?
When you're black, you're never really lonely because there will always be a white person all up in your business.
Is that the one? We're going to get pissed off at that one, right?
You tell me.
I don't get, seriously, this is 2025 for me. I've been doing this for almost 5 years. I just find it hysterical because I'm not that kind of person. I put out the truth out there every single day. I expose the absurdity of what's happening every day, but I do it with a smile. And I don't have to take Tums to go to bed or to make it through the day. I feel like, wow, to be wired that way, to be so angry and just like that 24/7. I'm just happy I'm not like that. Doesn't make me mad, but it's just so typical, I guess I would say at this point.
Well, these people are drug addicts. They are literally drug addicts because what are
Yeah.
they addicted to? They are addicted to the dopamine that their brains release when they get angry and pissed off. That's the genesis of the
Right.
social justice warrior. You're addicted to rage, and rage produces dopamine. It gives you the sense that you're doing something good, you're doing something right, you're contributing to your world. When you don't do anything else except sit on your fat ass and eat bonbons and play on social media, what do you actually produce or how do you benefit society? You don't. So what do? You go out and you take on all of these social justice initiatives that gives you some sense that you're actually contributing to your world and to society. And you get the dopamine rush from it. And you get other people who validate you and say, wow, what a good person you are because you're making all of these changes and you're fighting for all of these changes. And so you have other people validating you.
Right.
It's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. When you look at the top 2 rungs of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's self-esteem and self-actualization. And both of those involve heavy doses of dopamine.
Right. And then what goes from what we just saw in that video is to this, it goes hand in hand, this victimhood mentality. And so from there, you're not producing, and instead you are taking what is being given to you by the government, which is exactly what the government wants to do, because then they own you, right? So it's this whole persona, and they don't realize, I feel like, how captured mentally they are, that they think, to your point, they think they're doing something right for society, for themselves, for their communities, but they're really in turn hurting everyone around them, including themselves. And they're probably deeply depressed, because you can't live in a state of victimhood for too long before it really starts wreaking havoc on you.
Well, that was the good thing about the Obama administration, was that it validated victims. Because think about it. I mean, that right there is the totality of the leftist message. Think about it from this perspective. Marxism. What was Marxism? At its core, what were Marx and Engels writing about? They were writing about class warfare between the producing class and the worker class. Okay, but here in Western civilization, in the United States of America with capitalism, that argument didn't work, right? But so what did we do? Obama, the great divider in chief, did something very, very, very good. He took America, and I don't mean this good in the sense that it was actually positive. I mean, for their movement, it was a very good thing. They divided this country along every single racial, sexual, economic, and social demographic you possibly could. And then they pitted all of these different groups against each other, because the haves versus the have-nots is a bullshit argument here in the United States. We have capitalism. You can come from a shithole third world country, come to the United States, work hard through dedication, hard work, perseverance, and stick-to-itiveness, and you can become a very wealthy person. So the whole Marx and Engels bullshit argument doesn't work here. So we're not going to be able to monetize and politicize that argument. But we can now have class warfare, racial warfare, economic warfare, sexual warfare against all of these different groups. And we can take the same have versus have not mentality and apply it to all these different groups. White versus black, white versus every other racial group out there, men versus women, gay versus straight, gay versus everything else. Now, there's not enough infighting within those groups, and now we have to have 52 different genders that can all fight amongst each other. We have the political wars. We have the Republicans versus the Democrats versus the independents versus now you got the asshole libertarians involved in the mix as well too. So I mean this is Marxism on steroids. As long as we have people to fight against, we always have a boogeyman. And then we always have the victim class. And as long as there's a boogeyman, now you have somebody. It's like the shithole ambulance chasing attorneys on daytime television. Did somebody hurt your feelings? Sue them. Okay? What are they doing? Somebody hurt you. Somebody victimized you. So now, if you hire our law firm, we're going to get you the justice you deserve. Well, if somebody victimized you or hurt your feelings, hey, elect us and give us money, and we will politically give you the justice you think you deserve. I think I got this figured out.
Yeah, I'd say sounds pretty accurate to me. There's one thing I wanted to bring up. Juan, do you have another video? Sorry.
I do. It's a closer one, so you can.
Okay, perfect. I have one thing. So California is they're basically trying to slash House seats, and they're doing this to counter Texas. So Texas is trying to, I don't want to say pad the Republican margin, but they are redrawing districts. And actually, oh my gosh, who is it? Jasmine Crockett. She's very obnoxious. Right now, with the new lines that they're drawing, she would actually live out of district, which wouldn't that be beautiful if she She had to run again. I know, right? It would be so beautiful for her to run, and then this new district that she would be put into, them not reelecting her. Because I'd like to do a little more research into what her district is like and how she's even being elected in the first place. But right now she's up in arms, and she's one of the most, I don't even know. She's, talk about victimhood, right? Really plays it up for certain audiences. She's highly educated. So we're talking about a Black woman here for those unaware. She's highly educated, and you can hear her speaking in an educated way, but only certain times, because in the others she goes into this, pardon if this is not PC, I don't even care at this point, but extremely ghetto. And I'm talking, she's doing this while speaking in, on the House floor. So anyhow, she's going to be ousted if these new lines are redrawn in these new districts. But meanwhile, California is like, all right, Texas is going to end up gaining more seats for the GOP. So now we're going to redraw, and they're trying to make it so that they can get, take away some of the GOP seats. So it's really interesting. And, if you really think about it for California, and just for like the Democrats, we all know who's leading California, Newsom. This is his little vision here. But if really, if in California and with Democrats in general, it's like, if you can't win fair, redraw the map. And that's just really what it's all about. They're just going to cheat.
Have you ever played checkers with an 8-year-old?
I have not.
No, you should try that sometime. It's really interesting because when they don't win, they change the rules, right?
Okay.
And I mean, again, I said this earlier, Democrats are spoiled, self-entitled, undisciplined children. Just like a spoiled, self-entitled, undisciplined child, when they don't get to win, they just simply change the rules. How is a Democrat any different? They're not.
Right. I mean, it's proving that they're not. So that's going to be an interesting one to keep an eye on.
All right. What do we have? Is this the last video? Last video. Okay. What do we got?
Well, I hear you want this toy. This is for
Christmas. Dear God. No, I saw this one.
This is for Christmas.
This is disgusting.
Is it the one with teeth?
No.
No.
Well,
we hope not to offend you. Speaking of big balls.
Oh my gosh. No way. What in the world? Is that real? That's real?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna get that for a Christmas present for my sister, just as a joke. That's hilarious.
This is what we've degenerated to in society. This is and I mean this is nothing new, to be honest with you. Back in my 20s, and this is going back to the the late 90s, early 2000s. I was in the nightclub business. I owned 3 nightclubs. The worst things, the worst spectacles of just crass, disgusting behavior came from bridal showers. The girls would take the bride-to-be out to the nightclub, and it was just this. I mean, it would make a whore blush. It really would. So, I mean, I'm not surprised that we're seeing something like this because, I mean, shit, we saw this 20 years ago, 30 years ago. But it's just what's the point?
You're talking about bachelorette parties, right?
Bachelorette parties, yeah.
Bridal showers are for the grandmas and the aunts and all of that.
Bachelorette parties. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm not offended by it. If they want to produce that and someone wants to buy it, I personally want to buy it as a joke gift because it is disgusting, and I just like to do things like that. But I don't want my daughter to have it. But I don't know. I'm not going to get worked up over it.
No, I'm not going to get worked up over it either. I just think it's disgusting. That's all. And I just think it's, it makes me, the mind of the person who finds that appealing is working on the last brain cell. It's like the people who actually hang artificial testicles from the trailer hitch of their pick-em-up trucks. Your brain is operating on some of the last cells out there. You're dumb as a fucking bag of hammers.
I see them all the time.
What's the point? It's crass. Do we have any decency in society, or is everything everything just fart and tit humor? That's all it is. It's disgusting.
I think so.
And I wouldn't want to
think
raise
that's
children
really
in that.
right.
That's why, I mean, again, you homeschool. Why? Because you don't
Yeah.
want those children being exposed to this.
Exactly.
It's decency.
I still find
and
it
we
funny.
lack it.
Juan, look at that. You have very opposing reactions to this, but I think that's what makes
But that's the
world
whole point,
weird.
right?
I love it.
That's the whole point. All right, K-Sock, it is great to see you and to work with you again. It's been
Yeah,
too
it's
long.
been
Let's
too
do it
long.
again soon.
Absolutely.
All right. That is going to do it for this edition of Shadow Banned, where we have been censored and banned and cut off. And that's okay, because we're going to keep doing it. And if you don't like it, fuck you. Have a great night, everybody.
Oh my God. Where's the decency? Oh my God.